I find, y'all, it's very easy to communicate during the good times. During the good times, it's really easy to communicate. You know, people are just having fun, and you know, we're talky when it's all good and fine. But when it's not good and fine, what separates the pretenders from the contenders in relationships, what separates those that survive the relationship versus breaks the relationship, is being able to communicate during the difficult times. All right, being able to communicate during the difficult times.
This struggle got purpose and we grow. So whatever road we have to take next, all I need to know is that we'll roll with the punches.
Y'all, oh boy, rain and cold. Y'all, this reminds me of something in life that I talk about. Some days you just gotta get through the day, y'all. Some days you just gotta get through the day. This is not my kind of weather day. And you know, tomorrow's gonna be 76. It's gonna be cloudy, but it's gonna be 76. I like the warm, y'all. I like the warm. I do not like the 40-degree rainy days. I do not like those gloomy days. But y'all, sometimes in life, we just got to get through those moments. We just got to get through those moments to get to the next moment, And that's what I'm reminding myself today is, you know, we're just going to get through today. We got the coffee. We got warm clothes on. We're just, we're ready to have a rainy day, a rainy, cold day. But we're going to make the best out of it, y'all. Some days just can't always be sunny, smiley days. They just can't always be sunny, smiley days, y'all. Hey, I'm excited. There's something, even though it's raining today, there's something that's happening today. Lollapalooza was announced today. The lineup for it's going to be the first weekend in August, y'all. It's in Chicago. Lollapalooza is a 4-day music festival. I went last year, had a fantastic time. Great time last year at Lollapalooza. Saw lots of great bands. This year, some great bands again are gonna be there. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Hey, how about those Red Hot Chili Peppers? Billie Eilish, Kendrick Lamar. Some great lineup. Y'all, it's in small font. They're not a headliner. One day, I'm predicting, this is gonna be my prediction, the Revivalists. The Revivalists are going to be at Lollapalooza this year, y'all. Check out their music. I'm telling you, one day they're going to be a headliner at Revivalists. An awesome band. I love their music. I saw them at Bourbon and Beyond last year in Kentucky. But great. I'm looking forward to it. Excited. The MWA concert tour is going to be back. We're going to be back at Lollapalooza again this year. You guys know the MWA thing. We believe mental health is a lifestyle, not a diagnosis. So you see, we dabble in all kinds of stuff. We dabble in all kinds of culture, just because that's what life is, right? That's what life is. That's what we do in life, is we just listen to music, we eat food, we wear nice clothes. You know, we do all those things in life. Those are the things that we like to do. We watch sports. You know, we like to do those things. So that's what Midwest Anxiety is all about, that MWA thing. We're all about the lifestyle. We're all about putting, you know, the cognitive behavioral therapy, the CBT that we talk about. We're all about putting that into life. And mental health doesn't always have to be gloom and gloom and bloom and whatever. It doesn't have to be all that stuff. It can be happy. It can be fun. It can be exciting. Okay? Mental health's got a bad rap. Let's turn that around. Mental health is a lifestyle, not a diagnosis, y'all. Mental health is not a lifestyle. Hope to see you at Lollapalooza this year. Hope to see you there. Let's go see some clients today, all right? All right, let's do this. Cheers. Okay, it's time for what's been coming up in client sessions. All right, y'all, I want to talk with you about something that I have been talking with clients a lot about. What's that saying? What we got here is a failure to communicate. A failure to communicate. That's right, we're going to talk about communication for a second. Y'all, communication is very, very, very important in relationships. Communication, let me say that for the kids in the back, the adults in the back, the moms, the dads. Communication is very, very important in relationships. If it be, you know, relationship with your kids, relationship with a neighbor, relationship with coworkers, romantic relationships, whatever the relationship would be, communication is very, very important. And what I find, y'all, it's very easy to communicate during the good times. During the good times, it's really easy to communicate. You know, people are just having fun, and you know, we're talky when it's all good and fine. But when it's not good and fine, what separates the pretenders from the contenders in relationships, what separates those that survive the relationship versus breaks the relationship, is being able to communicate during the difficult times. All right, being able to communicate during the difficult times. All right, so sometimes when people are struggling, when they're in a disagreement or whatever else it might be, you know, they struggle to listen to the other person. They struggle to listen to the other person. They have their own perspective, and they just want their perspective heard. And so what I often encourage people to do is just to sit back and listen. As that person is talking to you, just be able to listen to what they're saying. They're communicating. They're sending you some messages about how they feel, how they think. And I want you just to receive that information. Once you receive that information, I want you to validate and empathize with that person. I want you to validate and empathize with that person, even if you don't agree with them. So important to validate and empathize, y'all. To validate and empathize is so important. It's basically saying, by validating, empathizing, you're saying, I understood, you connected with me, and I understood what you were saying. I might not agree with it, but I understood what you were saying. I could see how you might think that, and boy, because you think that, I could understand you might feel X, right? Now, here's the thing. After you validate and empathize, you can say, well, I understand that you might feel that way, or you might think that way, but I see it a little different way. And here's how I see it. Now, that other person needs to sit, and they need to just to receive that information from you, and hopefully they will validate, and hopefully they will empathize with you, y'all. Hopefully they will do that. Okay, so communicating is about sending and receiving information. Sending and receiving information is so important as we talk about the things that we might struggle with. We need to send the information, and then we need to receive it, y'all. And my hope is that by sending and receiving the information, by validating and empathizing with each other, there's that connection. That's what we want when we're communicating with each other. Even if there's disagreement, we want those people to still feel connected. We want them to feel connected. We don't want them to feel like they're going to separate corners, and we're just going to separate from each other. That just makes everything worse, because then we just stuff it down inside and we never solve whatever issues it is. Then we know what happens there. Those situations build and build and build until there's an explosion. All right, so communication. You know what they say in real estate: location. In relationships, we say communication. That's right. Communicate, y'all. It's really easy to communicate during the easy times. It's harder to communicate during the harder times, y'all. Get out there and do some talky. Do some talky with whomever you care about. All right, y'all. Okay, parents, let's talk for a minute. You know, when kids are jumping on the bed, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. When your kids are having trouble going to sleep, maybe they're just not ready to go to sleep. Maybe they just keep getting up out of bed. Here, I got something for you to try. All right, so you put your kids to bed, good night, you kiss them good night, give them kiss and hugs, you read to them, you do whatever you do. And then when it's time to go to bed, lights are out, you know, it's quiet, you know, everyone's just lying in their bed, no big deal, right? Well, what you're gonna do is you're gonna tell your kids, if I hear any noises or if you get up out of your bed, then I'm gonna start a timer. All right, I'm gonna start a timer, and that timer is gonna go until you get back in your bed, or until you calm down, until you're quiet, until you're resting peacefully. Okay, so then what you're gonna do is that time that is on that clock, what you're gonna do is the next day, right? The next day after the kids wake up, and let's say they go to school or they do whatever they do, they come home from school. Well, guess what? Now your child has to practice. Your child has to practice sleeping in their bed for the amount of time that was on that timer, okay? And the amount of time that was on that timer, your kids have to practice. Kids have to practice sleeping in their bed, all right? And so what this does is this holds them accountable for the time at night that they're not resting peacefully. They're not resting peacefully. So then what they had to decide, okay, am I going to just rest peacefully and be quiet at night, or do I choose to get up out of my bed? Do I choose to not be quiet and talk or do whatever it would, and then I choose to come home and practice? Okay, we're telling them they're gonna practice so they can get good at resting. And here's the thing, y'all, here's the secret. Kids, you probably know this, after they come home from school, they do not like, you know, sleeping in their bed. They want to play with friends, play with video games. They want to do all those fun things. So that really helps them, hold them accountable, naturally accountable for the behavior. So I always tell kids, hey, if you don't want to come home and you don't want to practice resting in your bed, then all you got to do is you just got to stay quiet. You may not feel like it, you may not want to, but you're in total control if you get that time or not. You're in total control if you get that time. All right, hope that helps for any of you parents that struggle at nighttime with bedtime. Put your kids to bed and then start that timer. Just let it go until they get back in bed or are resting peacefully, and then just hold them accountable the next day for however much time. Have them practice resting in their bed. All right, y'all. See ya. Thanks for watching.